Here's a little detail I didn't show when I was starting to make the pieces for the radiator support. I'm building this modular so that, set this down, I'm building this modular so that everything can be taken apart like a regular factory car. So you can remove the fenders without removing the radiator support, and you'll also be able to remove this top crossbar without removing everything else. So if you have to get the engine out, you could pull the grill in this and just make it easier. And the front, the way this is mounted now, these sections here, there's a stud welded into the bottom of this, and there's some 1/4-inch conveyor belt that I use for spacers on pickup trucks. They work real good on the beds. Looks like this. It was a guy at a swap meet who used to sell cutoffs of conveyor belt, and I used to buy them for a couple bucks a piece. And they've come in really handy over the years. So this is going to mount on this side. And then I have my radiator support welded up and sprayed so it won't rust. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sprayed it. But it's black. And we'll get these installed and put that in there. Radiator support done. Not too terrible. Looks sort of factory, which is the idea. But no matter what it looks like, it'll work. So that's good. But I think before I get into putting the radiator in and making the top plate, I need to wire this car while I have the room. Because once I put the radiator in, as much room as it looks like there is, you saw on the other video, it starts getting tight. So while I have the room, I think we'll go ahead and wire the car. And I'm probably going to put the AC, what is it called, that bulkhead there for the air conditioning lines. And wiring will come through the firewall somewhere on both sides. I have to figure that out. But at least the front end is now all assembled, just like a regular body on frame car. Hood closes fine. Body lines are good. Looks like a car. So it's coming out pretty cool. I just can't wait to drive it. It's just going to be fun. But wiring, I don't think I'll be doing much videotaping or videotaping, showing my age again. Much recording. I've got to pull what's left of the wiring out from under the dash and figure out how everything's going to go together. And like I said, what I'm doing here, instead of spending money, because everything's always a budget, I have a 1995 Camaro body harness. I'm going to thin that down. I already started on that a while ago, but I've got to finish thinning it out, and I'm going to wire the whole car with 1995 Camaro wiring, including the engine side. I just added the crank sensor if you saw the 4X conversion video. So it's all going to be modern. Oh, we got some crazy weather. It's all going to be modern wiring in the car. When I get that done, we'll come back and get into finishing up the cooling system. Hey, welcome back to Rust Order Garage. 61 Rambler wagon, the rot box. Been doing a little bit of wiring. I actually have the engine and transmission wired, and just got the PCM laying on the engine for now because I need inner fender welds so I can figure out how the rest of the wiring is going to mount, not only out here, but I've got a harness that I have to run into the car that comes back out and around and over to this side, because I didn't say already, I'm using all the wiring from a 1995 Z28 because I have it, so it's free. But it does take time to thin out the harness because obviously a car like that has ABS and cruise control and a whole bunch of power options and a lot of things that I just don't need. So better to remove all that wiring and make the harness smaller. And every harness on this thing is huge, including the one that's going to have to run out here and has all the relays and another second fuse box, a whole bunch of stuff. So I can't really route that stuff and figure out how it's going until I have inner fender welds. So that will be I guess the next thing we'll do, right? I've been busy as anything. Did you see the 68 Rambler I picked up? Two-door post car. Very solid. The complete opposite of this. You actually look underneath and everything's there, except for floor pans that were poorly patched. I seem to run into that a lot. But as far as structure, the frame rails, the suspension mounts, the rear rails, everything is really, really good. And it's not a torque tube car, which is even better. So, I don't know. We're still up in the air on that. Discussing all kind of things to do with it with my buddy. I don't know. What do we think? Altered wheelbase, drag car, straight axle, gasser, not altered wheelbase, paint it red, white, and blue anyway? I don't know. It's not next on the list, but as soon as I get something, got to discuss options. So if you haven't seen the short, check it out, because I don't think I'll make a video on that car for a while. Although I won't say that because it still has the original six-banger in it. Might as well see if it'll run, right? It's only been sitting for, I don't know, 20, 30 years in a building. So maybe it will start. I don't know. But I have to concentrate on this. So let's do something that I can do today, I think. I can finish today. Let's get the inner fender wells in this car. And of course, this was a unibody car, now full frame car. So I butchered the front of the car, cut it off and cut it into all kind of pieces and that and that. But we're really making things small now. This is one section from the front of the car that used to be all welded together, and it's trimmed down pretty good. I'm trying to make it look like it wasn't a unibody car. I got to weld a piece in here to fill in part of this here. I took out the section that had the big supports for the lower control arm. I think it was the lower control arm. It's been a while now. Maybe it was the upper control arm. I don't remember. But anyway, I cut all that out. And new mounting points are going to be back here where it's going to mount to the cowl up by the hood hinge. And then up here, I've got to weld a piece of metal all behind this so that it can bolt to the front structure, which you can't see from this angle, but it's back here. I'll show you as we get it in there. So, due to limited room because of how I stuck the car in here right now, I'm going to weld some pieces on this, and we'll come back, and I'll show you what it looks like with the pieces mounted. All right, real simple. Welded, scrap metal, of course. A tab on the back here, just plug welded in, and then welded a piece here from the back, just a flange. And all I'm going to do is install this and then mark all the spots where the holes would be. And then I can trim these down nicely, get rid of the sharp edges and whatever. Let's just see if I can even get this in from the front without having to take the tire off the car. Let's see, is there enough room to get in here? Oh, gonna be close, but I may have to take the tire off. Gonna make it? Oh man, so close! Oh, I got it. It was so close. All right. Gonna lift this in here. Gonna make it. Okay, it's up here. The fender bolts back in, but not like that. Come on. Get in there. That doesn't feel right. And this one here. That feels better. I don't know about this one. Let's see. All right. All right. Gonna work. I'll have to clamp it. But I think that's going to work. You probably didn't see any of that because I was in the way, but I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there it is bolted in. So the flange that I have now is behind those holes. So I'll mark those 2 holes. I'm going to put body clips there for the screws to go. And then over here, here's all the holes. I'll have to clamp this to hold it in place, but all those holes I'm going to mark, and we'll drill holes in that there as well. And once again, body clips. At least that's the plan. And we'll see if we can bolt this in and make it like a real car. All right, there's the first fitting. Got it bolted up in the back. Got it bolted up in the front. I gotta still put a mount there, and I had a hole up here I forgot about, so I gotta put a clip for that back there. I gotta fill in a good section of that opening there with some flat steel and get that filled. But it's not terrible. My only concern is I still don't know where I'm going to put my battery. If I was going to put it here in a factory location, or maybe on this side or in the back. And the wires are probably going to route along this inner fender. I guess I could mount over top of the battery if the battery is going to be there. But I got to put a hole back here to allow the wiring to come up, because I was still not quite sure where I'm going through on the firewall, probably under the fender. Because one pain in the butt about this car is it has these cowl vents that you can't see now, but there's a couple vents, or drains, not vents, cowl drains. One's back there, right there. I got to put hoses or something on these things. The originals all fell apart. And then there was one on this side. Where is it? Somewhere back here where the wiring is going to be as well. Where is it? I think it's under there. I can't see. But it's a pain because I don't want water obviously draining out of the cowl if I'm in the rain right onto my wiring harness. So I got to put some hoses on those things and get that to work. So now I'm going to take this back out. Should be making final modifications, and we'll put it back in. All right, next phase, or next version. Welded up some steel in the bottom here to fill that in. Got my 2 clips there. You can see how that works. Just GM type body clips going down along the flange there. Let's put it in. See what it looks like now. And once again, you probably won't be able to see what I'm doing. I don't know. It's going to come back out again anyway for a couple other adjustments. Can we get in there? I know it can, but it's a puzzle. All right, all the clips in place. Clips did not get dropped, so that's good. Good. What are we hanging up on here? There it goes. It's a snug fit. Gotta get the fender bolts in first. How's that look? Pretty good. Let's see if I can get the bolts in by hand. We'll tighten them up. All right, these are actually going in pretty good. I tried to leave some play in the clips, but this front part here has to get pulled in tight. Let's see if these bolts are long enough. Is that it? I think we got it. I have to get some longer body bolts, but I think they're okay for now. Let's see. Yeah, they're going in. They're going in. This is all leftover hardware from the Nova. I bought a front end hardware kit because everything was broken. That might need a longer bolt. Top. Long enough? And we need some longer body bolts. This kit did not come with longer body bolts. Let me go dig in my stash. All right, it's in there. I didn't even clean it up. I didn't even paint it. I may just let it rust like that, match the rest of the car. I don't know. We'll see. You can always take it out later. But for now, it's in there. So that's good enough for this car. I'll probably spray a little bit of paint over some of the rust, but not much, just a little. All right, now I got a bunch of cutting to do. I'm going to do the other side. I won't record that because it's going to be the same as this. When we come back, it'll be all done. Well, at least the other side will be in. And then I can continue on with wiring this thing. The next inner fender well, I believe, is done. I had to make a couple different modifications on this one to get the clips to work, but we've got all GM clips all around. Back here where it goes to the firewall. See? And let's put it in to see if it fits. Oh man, it is cold. I hope this fits because I don't want to have to do this more than once today. Let's see. Of course, yes, it's already been in and out a couple times as I was making all the flanges for the clips and such. Come on now, let's see. You want to fit. Come on, you want to fit. I don't want to do this again. At least not until it warms up. Couple bolts. See how close we are. Let's see. Did we mess anything up? I think so far, I think it's okay. Let's see. As long as the bolts thread in, we'll be all right. Because this is not, well, I guess it's sort of structural now, but of course it's not what it was when the whole front of the car was welded together. And holding the suspension. I think that's going to work. Let's see. Man, it is cold. Look at that. They thread in by hand. All right, let's see if we get that lucky up front. Got that one. You got that one. A couple of these I think I'm going to have to get longer body bolts for, because it's just a little bit too much length to get the short ones in. Let's see. Can you even see what I'm doing? Probably not. But you get it. You get the idea. Look at that. It's going in. Nice. All right. I got two more, but I don't know if these short body bolts are going to be long enough to get it done. All right. Got a couple longer body bolts in the stash. This would be a 5-gallon bucket full of hardware. Look at that. We got inner fenders. All right, there you go. We got inner fender wells in the car. It actually looks kind of factory, which is the goal from the beginning. So not bad. I like it. The hood still closes. Everything's all good. This thing's moving along. But like I said, if you break your project into smaller projects and just get something done every week, if you can, it will get done. Lots of little projects add up to one big project. All right, so I think that's all I'm going to do for now. I have to go back to thinning out wiring harnesses because I've thinned out most of the inside body harness, but the outside large body harness that's going to go out here with the relays and stuff, I still have to go through that whole thing, and that has a lot of stuff to remove. It still has like body control module wiring, ABS wiring, and a lot of just unneeded stuff that I'm going to have to tear out of it to make it cleaner and smaller. So I'm going to get that done next. So until I see you again, because I want to get this thing running soon. So yeah, until I see you then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following this crazy project, and thank you for subscribing. I got more stuff coming up. I'm getting excited about, but I got to stay concentrated on this car. I will. I'll try. See ya.